Hello friends, I'm finally getting back to working on the ripper. I decided to make it after I dug that cedar stump out and realized that the stock bucket wasn't ripping the roots. So I'm making this one in a modular fashion where I have a replaceable blade. The blade is going to be made out of a scarifier off an old box blade I had that I destroyed but saved the scarifiers. So follow along and see what you think. Hello friends, back to working on the ripper for the little Chinese 1-ton. So anyway, what I got this plate. I got the scale all ground off. It's a 1/2-inch thick plate, 6x6, and these are 1/2x4s that you'll see once it comes together. Wow, it's going to look. But anyway, I got a center line both ways, and I have the square on there with the magnetic squares. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and tack the ends and then proceed to weld it. And then I'll put the other side on, shim it up for the 3/4 inch spacing, and then I'll weld that and hopefully everything will line up. I'm going to go ahead and tack it on the ends. I got a pretty good chamfer on each end, and I'm going to be using this 3/32 6013. So hopefully it'll hold while I weld it. Everything looks pretty close to square. Take this other side. And I think I'm gonna go ahead and chip that slag and get me a couple more spots, and then I will put the blade on, or the ripper tooth on, and assemble it, and then weld the other side together. So now I've got the ripper blade bolted on. This first side's just tacked still. Go ahead and tack this other side with these bolts snugged up. I don't want to make it too tight because I need to get this in and out. And then what I'll do is, if this ripper is not strong enough, because it's only 5/8, and if it's not strong enough, it's just my first plan. My next plan is to use a piece of 3/4x4 to make the new ripper out of. So this is my plan A, and the bigger one is plan B. So now I'm going to go ahead and tack this side and then start welding and make sure it stays square. Guess the ground would help. Work bin on too bad. All right, here it is. Got all the welding, the bracket done. It came out pretty good. That's 3 welds on there. I might go back and hit here and here, but I have planned on, in the front, getting these squeezed together to the right dimension, and then I have a little plate that I'm going to weld on it to keep them that way. So all in all, it's coming along pretty good. Waiting for something to get these to 25 millimeters. These are the ears. Got these 2 pieces tacked together. Got a little grinding to do, get them the same. And then I got to get the holes reamed out to 25 so I can use the pins to set it up, to weld it on the top of this. And then I have to make some gussets, and then it should be all done, ready for test. This has been one of the hardest parts, to get these 25 millimeter holes in this, what is now 3/4 inch plate, because it's 2 3/8 plates welded together. So what I did was I drilled them out to 7/8 before with the step drill, and that worked pretty good. Problem is they're quite a bit, need to be quite a bit bigger than that. So I bought some of these drills with the reduced shank, and I drilled it out to 15/16. Now I'm trying to use the 25 millimeter drill as a reamer to get the holes, but it's really, this drill press is really kind of a wood, and it doesn't go really slow enough in my opinion. So, got a chatter. Then you got that. So here's the the dinky belt and the multitude of speeds that you don't really need. But then if you look at it, the slowest it goes is 380, so that's really too fast for this high-speed steel drills, in my opinion, anyway. So at least if they get dull, I can sharpen them, but I'll just continue on. Alrighty, so got the drilling and reaming done, and it's actually a pretty good fit, so I'm happy with that. Then I have to figure out, there's some boss that goes on one side of these that these lock into. Whether I need that or not, I don't know. I could just put a wrench on there, try that, because I won't be using this all the time. This is just for the ripper. So things are moving along. This is my experiment to make the I guess, I don't know, spacers to make the excavator ears, mounting ears, extra thick. I'm not sure what they're for exactly, but I need to take up that space in order to for the bolts to tighten down. So these are the ones I'm talking about. So you got the ears, and then you got these little spacer things that are welded on to each hole. So on this one, I think I'm going to try to do it with just 2 3/8 spacers on each side and see if that takes up enough room. Because if not, I'm going to have to figure out something to do to make these lock into those. That's all that's for. So a wrench would do the same thing. So, and I don't plan on using it all that often or changing it out all that often once I'm done. But we could see. So I'll get back to it. So I'm starting with a hole saw. It's a 1 7/8. Maybe I should have used 2-inch, I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm going almost all the way through. And what I plan on doing next is going through this step drill. And its biggest diameter is 7/8. I'll see how that works. And after that, I'll step up with the short drills like I drilled the holes for the ears themselves. Quick update. So I got the ears tacked on to the base and everything lines up. There's clearance. And I'll start it up and show you the motion. So there is absolutely no interference. I'm not 100% sure why people copy the fancy stuff that the factory makes with all the big radiuses in here and all that, because at no point that ever comes close to anything, so couldn't see any good reason to make it more complicated than it already was. So what I gotta do now is I gotta try to weld this plate to these ears, and keep it from warping like a pretzel, which is what I've had a really hard time with. So the other thing I did was I eliminated the little recessed parts that hold these from turning. Again, more complication that I'm really not set up since I don't have a mill. I do have looks like about maybe a 1/16 clearance between the boom or the dipper stick or whatever it's called and the ear plate. And so again, these will just go on there like this. These will go in there like this, and it gets to the nylon, so it should loosen up. And I'll just have to put a wrench on this side. So let me get to welding the ears all up, and then maybe a gusset here or there, and then I'll be able to give it a try. Thanks for hanging in there with me on this one. It's long. Well, there it is. All welded up, gussets, pins fit through. It's not sloppy. Full travel, no interference. All that remains is to see is if the 5/8 5/8 thick Scarifier blade will hold up to the power of this thing, which it's not really powerful, but 5/8 is not very thick either. But I won't really know until I tested it. Actually, I'm pretty happy with how it came out. I was a little bit scared that all that welding was going to really warp out those plates, but I get it lightly welded, and then I welded the gussets on to help it all be stable, and it actually did pretty good. I was impressed. So now all we have to do is give it a test.